Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I'm Craige Campbell, your financial coach, and this is Good Money Skills. And today we are going to be talking about purchasing, or I guess you can say acquiring a car, a vehicle, SUV, a car. Should you be buying or should you be leasing? What is the best thing to do? It's a question that comes up all the time, and my answer is different based on who I'm talking to, based on people's situation. So let me break it down and tell you the pros and cons of purchasing versus leasing your next vehicle. Oh, and if you listen to the end, I got some really cool tips for you that you may not know in terms of buying and leasing. All right, so follow through to the end. Let's get into it right now. So first of all, let's talk about the pros of leasing. When you're leasing, it's really long-term renting, or to put it another way, you are paying for the use of the vehicle. Right? You pay for the time that you're using it. So for this reason, you're not paying for all of the car. You're just paying for a certain time. And that's why you can get some really good lease payments, much cheaper than financing. And that's why a lot of people are now leasing more expensive cars they could maybe not afford to finance or buy, but to lease it for 2 or 3 years, they can afford those payments. That's why they're doing it. So that's one of the benefits of leasing. Obviously, you have your car, like I said, 2-3 years, so you're always getting a brand new car every 2 years, and during that time, it's under warranty. So you don't have to worry about anything except maybe oil changes and a few minor things here and there, but you're covered for the time that you have the car. Really good thing. Because your car is new, within the 2 or 3 years, you always have up-to-date technology. That's a good thing as well. Now, in some cases, especially with some of the luxury cars, you're now being asked to prepay for your maintenance. Now, that's an option, and sometimes it's a good thing, especially if you want to keep the car for beyond the 3 years and you're doing lease to own afterwards, right? But for many people, if they know they're going to turn in the car at the end of that lease, then prepaying for that maintenance is something that you can probably bypass altogether because you know you're giving the car back and you're going to take care of it, and it's going to be within the mileage that they require. Which brings me to the next point of leasing, the pros for it. There's no long-term commitment. I know a lot of you are against commitment of any kind. Well, now you're talking about a lease. There's no long-term commitment. At the end of the time, the 2, 3, 4 years, whatever the time frame is, 18 months, 32 months, I know they have different lease terms. You bring the car back, you hand the keys off, and you walk away. At least some people walk away. In most cases, you're actually going to turn in those keys and then go get another car, a newer car, and start the whole process all over again. When it comes to the cons, the first thing is there is no ownership. You are just paying for that lease payment to use the car. So if you're looking at your balance sheet, you can't put, I own this $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 vehicle. It's not yours. You're leasing it from the car company. It's just a liability payment that you're paying each month. So there's no ownership. And at the end of the time, you just give it back and do it all over again. And because you're doing it all over again, well, guess what? You have perpetual payments. You have car payments every single month. You turn in the car, at the end of the lease, you start again, you always have car payments. So that's a negativity as well. And you also have mileage limits. That's right. So sometimes you got to pay a little bit more money if you want to have more mileage, which is a weird thing, but anyway. But if you are commuting back and forth to work and it's a long trip, if you like to take long trips with your family, or your spouse or significant other in a leased vehicle, you might run up that mileage really fast. And then when you do return the car, well, now you're going to have a big shock because there's going to be a lot of money. You're going to be charged a few cents for every kilometer or every mile that you're over. And that can really pile up to be thousands of dollars in some case. And after you pay that amount, you still have to come up with a down payment or at least some kind of payment and start your new lease payments, right? So that's a restriction, having that mileage limit. And another restriction, another con, if you will, is you're not allowed to customize the car. So if you want to put new calipers on, or you want to lower your car, or you want to black out the lights or tint it, whatever the case may be, if you're leasing the car, you're not allowed to do so. And if you do, there's going to be, again, a penalty you're going to have to pay to redo those things or undo those things. Or, well, if you know for a fact that you're going to be leasing it and then buying out the lease at the end and keeping the car, well, then it doesn't matter. But otherwise, there is a restriction. Okay, so keep that in mind. And of course, I said it before, but just to add to it, when you're leasing a car and you decide to lease and then lease and then lease again, because you have those perpetual payments all the time, leasing can over time be more expensive than financing or buying a car outright. So also keep that thing in mind. So now we're going to move on to purchasing a car or financing a car. Of course, when you buy a car, and cash is obvious, but if you finance a car, now you have ownership. You can actually put something on the asset side. This car is 50, 60, whatever $1,000. And of course you have a liability side because you're paying off that loan over time. So it is actually something that you own. Once that car is paid off, it's yours. And now you can trade it in for a dollar value to get something else. You can sell it, or you just have that as an asset on your asset sheet. So that's one of the benefits of buying a car. Now, of course, if you buy a car, there is no mileage restriction. You can go as far and wide as you want to because it's yours. No restrictions whatsoever. So you won't have to pay extra money to get that extra mileage. It's yours because it's built in, right? That's a good thing. And of course, the customization we're talking about. Once it's yours, you're financing it, like you've bought it, you can customize it any way you want to. Get bigger tires, wider tires, paint the car and change it to a different color if you want to. There's so many things you can do. It's your car, right? So that's another benefit of owning and buying a car. If you plan on keeping your car for, let's say, 7 to 10 years, then it's really a benefit for you to buy versus lease, right? The overall value, you're gonna have value of the car still. It's gonna be worth something. Have it as an asset, as maybe collateral to get a loan or something else. You can do all those things because you own it. You can't do those things when you lease. But buying isn't perfect either. There are some cons to buying. Let's look at those now. Now, the most obvious thing about buying or purchasing are the payments. Because you're paying for the whole car, your payments are going to be significantly more than leasing a car. And that's why a lot of people, when they're buying cars, they're not buying the expensive luxury cars. They're just buying standard vehicles, things that are fuel efficient because of the payment. Now, I know, and you're aware, because of the fact that payments are so expensive, now a lot of the companies, the car companies, have no longer 36 or 60 months. Now they have 72, 84, 96 months, giving you a longer term to pay off that car. But I strongly advise against going for those long terms. Yes, they're going to reduce your payment significantly, but the amount of money you're going to pay in interest will also increase significantly. So if you're able, try to keep it below, well, let's just say 60 months or less. 36 months would be even better, but 60 months or less. And even though you're doing it for 60 months, there's no reason you can't pay that car off in a shorter period of time than the 60 months or the 48 months or the 36 months that they're giving you. Aim to pay those cars off faster, you reduce your interest, and of course, now you have it as an asset only and the liability's gone. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, another con, of course, is, well, maintenance costs. Because eventually that warranty will run out, and if there's anything going like a ball joint breaks or axle breaks or transmission goes, well, you are on the hook for 100% of all of those maintenance costs. So keep that in mind, right? That is one of the drawbacks of owning the car, because it gets older and things break down over time, and you are responsible for all the maintenance costs, especially when it goes beyond the warranty time frame. So the question we asked at the beginning of this, which is better, leasing or buying? Well, really it depends on your lifestyle, your driving habits, your financial goals, because if you love driving the latest vehicle, then leasing obviously is the way for you. But leasing might make more sense if, let's say, you have a business. But if you want to build equity, keep your car for a long time and avoid monthly payments down the road, buying, of course, is your best financial move. And here's a big one, and this is especially for business owners and entrepreneurs. This is big, so listen to this. If you're a business owner or self-employed, if you lease a car, you can write off a significant portion of those payments and really save money on your taxes. So let's say, for example, you have a $500 a month payment. I know $500 is probably low for a lot of you, but Just bear with me for the math, okay? So you're paying $500 a month for your car, for your lease payments. But in many cases, you can write off up to 80% of those lease payments. So that means you're looking at $400 a month that you're actually writing off. That's $4,800 for the year that you can actually get back when you do your income taxes. That's a hefty sum. So if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, it might be best for you to lease. If you're financing a car and you're a business owner, you can actually have some of the depreciation written off as well. But lease payments are really, really good. Much, much better if you're a business owner. If you're not a business owner, sorry, you can't write that stuff off. But in either case, make sure you talk to your tax professional and find out what is best for you and the amounts, the total amounts that you can write off for your business. And make sure, of course, when you're trying to do this, you got to take accurate records. The miles that you've gone to and fro, when you use it for business, when you're using it for pleasure, you got to take accurate records to make sure you're not taking advantage of this particular hack, if you will. So the bottom line, if you're running a business, leasing might offer more flexibility and tax savings. But as a financial coach, I recommend purchasing a vehicle. Doing it in cash if you can. I know many people can't. But if you're going to finance it, looking for 36 months or shorter. If you have to go a little bit longer, do so, but never more than 60 months. If you can't afford to purchase or finance that car in 60 months, you're probably getting too much car. You should probably look at it twice and maybe downgrade the kind of car that you're getting. So I really hope that was helpful, but I have one more tip for you. When you're purchasing a car, think of all the money you're paying for the car. So all expenses, we're talking the car payments, of course, your gas, your insurance, your maintenance, everything. If you add up everything, that number should never, ever, ever be more than 20% of your take-home pay monthly. That's right. So if you are taking home $5,000 a month, you add up all your car expenses, it should not be more than $1,000 a month. And if it is, again, you need to look for a cheaper car, okay? Really important. And the second thing is the purchase price. This is a big one. Oh my gosh. I see so many people making $50,000 a year, $80,000 a year, which is decent income, and their car is worth $90,000, $100,000. They're getting cars that are actually costing more than they make in a year. Don't ever do this. The maximum amount of money your car should be is 50% of your gross pay. So if you're making 100 grand, for example, your car should be no more than $50,000. And if you're going over that, you're putting too much of your money into a car. It's just a vehicle to get you to and fro, right? Some people look at it as a status symbol. Some people look at it to show off. For many people, a car could be the biggest place where most of their money is going. And of course, a car is not an appreciating asset. So look for ways you can reduce your car and your transportation expenses, okay? We love beautiful cars. We love the luxury cars, but if you can't afford it, it's actually detrimental to your finances and to your future. So keep that in mind. So that is all for today. Thanks for watching. I hope this information was helpful. So please share, subscribe, and comment down below. Are you a lease person or are you a finance person? Lease or buy? Are you team lease or team buy? Let me know. All right, take care and I'll see you in the next one.